Hey everyone, Eat Sleep from the Techies here, and I'm back again to, I guess, give you the other part of the After Effects basic tutorial kind of thing we got going on here. Pretty cool stuff. Nice and laggy. I like how that's laggy. Anyways, in the first tutorial we just went over, very, very simple time controls and how to add text and add an easy little effect thing and make it cool. And so in this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to, let's say, do some more basic things like render or add some other effects and some cool little tricks, but I won't blow your mind yet. We'll save that for future tutorials. So if that hasn't annoyed you yet, sorry about that anyways. I'm going to go in here and add a new composition, Control N, and we bring up this box which we use. So anyways, in the composition tab up here, notice we had composition and footage for, like, obviously a clip or something. We have some stuff down here, which most of it is useless. Actually, I can't say that. It's all useful, but most of it you don't use too often. First one here, obviously, 100%, 50. You can just scroll in and out with your scroll wheel, and you'll just be good as noodles. And the thing next to it, you can use for, it shows pretty much like grids and rulers, and this thing here is really useful if you have text or picture. You can go ahead and click that on and move it to try to center it around this little center point here, so that is pretty useful. And of course you have your grids and your guides and rulers and all that stuff, but most of it is not necessary most of the time, so I just leave it off for now. So the next thing here is this little button. I can't really demonstrate, actually I can demonstrate it now. It is for if you have some sort of mask on and off, you are able to see the mask. And that is very helpful when you're masking things over, which is actually done quite often in this program. The next thing is the time is very simple. It just shows, what frame you're in or what frame you want to go to, so that's very useful. And then we have a bunch of other, like, you want to render it in half, full, all kinds of useful things there. And, stuff like that. Different types of viewports we got going on there. So I'm going to throw in some stuff here, to throw like text and say text stuff words. So we have our little thing here, and we can go ahead and click on title action save and center it around that, and it does a pretty good job of doing its job. It does a good job at doing its job, so we'll say that. So over here on our compositing little general area box here, we have a bunch of little buttons here, and if you hit F4, there's even more buttons, so it's really cool. We have stuff like motion blur, adding motion blur. If it goes through keyframes, it just adds default motion blur, which is a really cool effect. And then you can have it invert colors or use an adjustment layer by just clicking on it. And then 3D layer, which makes the layer a 3D in 3D space, which means you can move it around the X, Y, and Z axis, as you're seeing I'm doing here. So that is how you make things 3D. And parent is for if you have some sort of null object, like you make a null object that that shakes. Control click, I think it is. Well, anyways, if you make some sort of null object that moves around, you can pretty much use this parent key, and pretty much what will happen is the null object, the text will follow the null object's movement. So that's pretty useful there. Also more buttons. If we hit F4, we have our standard, types of compositing modes. You want to dodge, color dodge, tons of little cool things. Alpha mats is also available in this program, so it's pretty good for adjustment layers. So I hope I haven't confused you, but there's one more thing I'd like to go over, and it's rendering, and it's really simple. You have your little thing in here, your little, why did I say that? Never mind. So pretty much we can click on our compositing, a little yellow box shows up, tells us what we want to render. If we go to composition and add render to queue, and it'll automatically go here, and you can click on this for render settings. You want the quality at the best, wireframe, frames per second. You can customize a lot of stuff, you know, color depth, even effects. You can have your effects turned off and just see what it looks like without effects. Cool stuff. And then, you know, change your file name, save it to where you want. Pretty standard stuff, and then hit render, and you'll be good. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the basics, I guess. I guess we'll start on actual learning how to do this in future videos. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. This has been Eat Sleep from the Techies. Be sure to check out the Techies website for great game and software reviews, as well as a database of all Techies videos. Also, please sign up to our forum where you can request a tutorial or just talk about something that interests you.